name is Betty Sile. She's from South Africa. She's only been in Ireland for about 7 months and she came in for school. Yeah. And we were just sitting down here having a chat. I was like, Beth, are you comfortable behind the camera? And she was like, yeah, girl, why not? We actually made a video somewhere in Phoenix Park today. Went out riding. So fingers crossed, today I will actually try to sit down and edit this video and post it on my channel. I think my problem is I think too much about my videos most of the time and then I leave my channel for a very long time and I don't post. Yeah. My channel is just there sitting down, follow. Meanwhile, I should be out there like other YouTubers doing it back to back. Like every YouTuber out there that does videos every day, like 2 videos a day. More power to you guys. I don't know how you guys do it, but man, I give you the thumbs up. So today anyways, we're just chatting and we're talking about this whole accommodation crisis in Ireland. Lots of people have been sending me emails about, oh, I'm coming into Ireland in a few months time, my problem is accommodation, how exactly can you help me, da 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 da. So let me tell you about my own accommodation story, my own accommodation experience. I basically just moved my stuff from Nigeria to join my husband who had been living in this country. And luckily for me, he had an apartment somewhere here in Dublin, and for where we live, it is such a good location for us because I literally like walk 5 minutes to my office from my house. Yeah. My first job was not so far away from my house. My second job, I made sure that I was living right beside my house because I'm like, no, nobody's going to make me wake up by 5 a.m. in the morning to be jumping any bus to going to work. And I was so lucky, thankfully though. Yeah. And luckily for me too, for my accommodation, it's a 1-bedroom apartment and I pay €750, which is incredibly surprising at a time in Ireland when the accommodation crisis is just increasing by the day. I was reading somewhere on, I can't remember if I was reading a newspaper or if I was watching a video, but I know I was listening to something where they were talking about there's supposed to be a mass immigration in Ireland, and I'm not sure, at least at the point where the standpoint where I am right now, I really do not know what exactly is being done for that mass immigration program that they are planning out for. Now, please, before you people come for my wig, I'm not the one that is organizing mass immigration. I don't know the Taoiseach. I don't know who the Prime Minister is and what exactly he's organizing. Like, please, I'm only living here and doing my own part and paying my taxes before somebody comes to my head and is like, oh, yo, they're organizing people to come to the country. No, I am not. I'm only just sharing my experiences. Thank you very much. So people get to just express their fears through their emails asking me about accommodation, and sometimes it just breaks my heart because I really do not even know what exactly to say to them. And so she has her own experiences, and so I felt, being that she came in as a student into the country, I remember the last time I made a video talking to a student here, I was like, in fact, the truth about accommodation in Ireland is, especially in Dublin, is when you're coming into the country, just carry your house and be coming. That's the best solution I can tell you. A friend of mine in Cork, the other day we were speaking and she was telling me how she's trying to find a house. And I was like, studio apartment. She was like, oh, it's so hard to find an apartment in Cork. Like, it's almost going for €1,000. I was like, in Cork? I thought Cork would be easier. She was like, no, it's almost like after Dublin is Cork next that is dealing with this whole accommodation crisis. So I really don't know what the government is putting on ground for the people and this major situation, because as much as people try not to talk about it, because I know they do not like getting into political discussions here, it's a major crisis that is facing people, especially now that the Brexit has happened. Whether we like it or not, most people are not wanting to move into the UK. They'll rather just go into other EU countries to see like where exactly they can find their feet. So I thought that, my goodness, 4 minutes I've been talking. But can you start talking right now and sharing your experiences with accommodation? Because it's not just a one-sided discussion from my own end. It's also be nice if we get to hear someone else's story. So welcome to my channel. Alright girls, so you came in for school to Ireland. What's your experience been like with accommodation?
Okay, so everyone has a different experience. I'd just like to
and your advice too. So you also give advice to people, because for me, I'll just tell people, I'm like, if you're coming into the country, come by yourself. Because some people send me emails and they're like, oh, I'm coming with my 5 children, I'm coming with my 2 kids. And like, honestly, if where you have applied for visa to go to his island, just come in with yourself first of all, and find out where exactly you're going to be staying. Try and find an accommodation for yourself, and then you can bring in your kids or your wife and whoever you want to bring into the country.
Yeah.
Because you can't be dealing with trying to find a job and trying to find an accommodation at the same time. And most of the time, like trying to find a house with opening a bank account. That's just another frustrating journey again for some people that they have to deal with. So bad. Please, thank you. Before I keep talking here, I'm even having a headache already.
So as I mentioned earlier on, everyone has their own experience. Yes, so I don't want to make my experience your experience or vice versa. I'm just going to talk more about my experience so that if anyone finds themselves in a similar situation, then they will know more about how to possibly respond to it or something like that. So as I mentioned before, I came in here as a student. So I got to study at a particular university, and coming in, the university did not offer students accommodation like maybe school hostel or something like that. But basically they had a section in their website whereby other agency or other household like families that would offer accommodation.
So you saw that on the website while you were still in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. While you were still in Malaysia, you saw that. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that and stuff. So
had you been hearing about the accommodation problems here?
No. Yeah, I never knew about it beforehand. So I guess that's the one thing we should do. You should actually do your research before coming here to find out more about the accommodation. And just because certain things are written down on the internet or on paper for that matter, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are true, to be honest with you. Because when I was interacting with people from my school and talking about accommodation, saying, okay, fine, since you guys do not offer accommodation like a school hostel to your student, is it possible for me to find accommodation from maybe an agency or somewhere else? They said, yeah, it's fine, it's possible and stuff, and it's not a problem at all. So just because someone says it in that particular position, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's always
because the person
true.
might not even have gone through that kind of struggle.
No, not at all, not at all. So it's really important that you do like an extensive research into anything. It could be accommodation or transportation or anything that you might find would be of use. So yeah, basically I went through the school's website and I was able to find a place for accommodation through an agency. So yeah, but when I came in here, so I notified them the day before I came to Ireland to say, oh, by the way, I'm coming. I was reminding them to say, okay, fine, I'm coming to Ireland this particular day, and I just hope everything is ready in terms of the accommodation. And then there was, I guess there must have been a misunderstanding of some sort, because it said, sorry, but we didn't get your information or anything like that. So I just decided not to be frustrated about it and just try.
Just be calm.
Yeah, just be calm.
And be a diva about it.
Yeah, so I managed to book myself into a backpackers hostel.
Okay.
Yeah.
From before you came into the country?
Yeah, when I came into the country actually.
Oh, when you came in.
When I came into the country. So I was able to stay there for a few weeks, probably 2 weeks before I found accommodation outside, because in the backpackers hostel you can only stay there up until 6 weeks and not longer than that. So after some time you have to.
And how much were you paying in backpackers?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, how much I paid, but I know that it was not more than 20 euros
per night.
No, for like 3 nights.
Oh,
okay. Like that. It was not more than 20 euros for 3 nights. That's one thing I remember for a fact. Yeah. But you do have to pay a deposit, and then you get the deposit back
when you're
when you're actually moving out. So that was okay. But then the other issue was when now I had to find accommodation outside of the backpackers hostel.
After your 6 weeks was it?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
The lapse?
Yeah, no, because I stayed there for 2 weeks.
Oh, you didn't even stay up until 6 weeks?
No, I didn't stay up until 6 weeks. I stayed there for 2 weeks. So going back to accommodation, so I managed to get accommodation and stuff from a host family. So
which was organized by your school?
Yeah, which I got through the school's website. It wasn't necessarily organized by the school, to be honest with you. So basically, they will list out families that want to offer accommodation to students going to that particular university. So you have to call those families to say, oh, by the way, my name is so-and-so, I go to the school, I'm from this particular country. Are you able to offer me accommodation in your house? Yes. So if it's a no, then it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a no. If it's a yes, yes, sorry. But then the other thing that I noticed is that some of them, actually most of them, were only able to offer me accommodation from Monday to Friday, and not from Monday to Sunday, and even public holidays as well. So then
Monday to Friday. So what happens Saturday and Sunday?
So you basically sort yourself out.
And then you come back again Monday to Friday.
And you come back again on Sunday night. So basically the weekend you're not there.
Okay, so that means I'll sleep in the club on Saturday night. Then Sunday after church, I'll sit down in the church after the service and wait for
a couple of
lights.
Yes,
and then I'll now carry my bag and call them again and be like, can I come back home, please?
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah. So that was the issue that I had at first. And the one issue that I had was the mere fact that I don't think the school was aware about this thing.
The struggles.
Yeah, exactly, that the students actually go through because of the way that it was organized. I think the school should have organized it better to say, okay, fine, if you look through our website, there are two sections. There are these families that are able to accommodate you from Monday to Friday, and there are also these families that are able to accommodate you from Monday to Sunday, because everybody's situation is different. As a foreign student, I could probably know of someone coming to Ireland that I knew back from home, whether it's a relative or a friend that I could stay with, you know,
Saturday and the Sunday.
That sort of a thing, fine. But it was not organized that well in that manner, I feel like. And I also believe that there is not much interaction going on between the school and the ones who actually offer you the accommodation.
Which is the homestays.
Which is the homestay. So, okay, fine, by the way, are you offering accommodation to so-and-so? We just want to confirm. We want some clarity on it. And how much are you charging them? Do you think this is a reasonable charge? That sort of a thing. And within this home, what exactly are they paying for? Does it include the rent, the electricity?
So what does it include? What does your rent with them
Precisely,
include? So
yeah.
what did your homestay include? Like, is it your food?
No food, no. They don't offer me food. So food I basically buy it myself. So what they would offer me is, okay, obviously I have to pay rent, a rent fee, and then electricity and internet. So it's all included in one. Okay. Yeah, under one payment. And then the payment also varies, by the way. So some families will charge you a certain amount, which is different from other families. So not all of them are the same.
Oh, so you might actually run into some families that are charging higher.
And
so you have. So how do you find out who is lesser?
You can only find out if you actually call them. Because the other thing that I noticed is that obviously on the website it will tell you this particular family is charging you this much. But when you call them, you find there's actually a different amount from what's actually written down on paper. Yeah, so going back to this whole thing of
the cycle continues.
Yeah. That what you always see on paper is not always true. Yeah. So it's important that you actually do your research about it. That's true, yeah. So so I'm staying with the host family and stuff, but
so are there restrictions?
There are obviously restrictions, that sort of a thing, yeah. So there isn't really much freedom going on, and by the way, this is different from family to family. Some families have a different experience compared to others, because I have met other foreign students from church, for example. They will tell you that, oh no, with their whole families they have no issues, like what time they come in or come out at night, or what time they decide to cook, because obviously you're a student and you have like nights whereby you don't really sleep and you're busy on your schoolwork, but there's a point in time whereby you feel like cooking something, making something to eat, that sort of a thing. And sometimes you come to the library very late.
Sometimes I want to cook fish head in my kitchen.
Exactly.
And I can cook it. I can smell it in my kitchen, and nobody's telling me your fish head is stinking.
Exactly, right. so every family differs, to be honest with you. Not all families are the same. But just with the host family that I stay with, for example.
But you have to respect people's spaces too.
You have to, yeah, you have to. And you just have to adjust and be able to be okay with it, I guess.
It's temporary though.
Yeah, it's temporary, that's the thing.
But it's just realize the fact that the accommodation situation in Ireland is a major thing for you to think about.
Yeah.
And sort out before you decide to include yourself and your entire household to the country. So most people are surprised when they come. Like, even there's a lady in my office who recently started and she wasn't offered an accommodation, because I've seen some people who come from their countries and they're giving like the option of, okay, so you can stay in a hotel for like 3 months, we'll be paying for, like, you submit whatever at the end of the month, your invoice, and we'll take care of it, blah blah blah. But this particular lady, she wasn't even given that option, and she probably did not think about it. She just comes in, and 3 days after arriving to the country, she resumes work, because that's the agreement she had with her agency. And at that point, she's trying to deal with, trying to find like, it's just 1 month she's been in the country now. Yeah. But like in this 1 month, she's been trying to find an accommodation, trying to open a bank account, which if you do not have an accommodation, you cannot open a bank account, because they need you to submit some evidence of what's the name of that thing? So some proof of residence. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they need you to show proof of residence. Well, how do I show proof of residence when the house is not even available in the first place? Like, but I think she sorted that out though. It takes a while. It's not as if you're not going to find a house. It's not as if you're always find a place to stay, but it just takes a while, and it's a major struggle for you to think about. And any tips and advice?
That's what I mentioned earlier on, that do extensive research about it, and then whatever's written on paper is not always true. And then the other thing is to always okay, I'll give an example. Okay, you can stay with the host family and they can tell you one thing, but it's also important to ask the locals if that one particular thing is actually true. Like, for example, in my case, one point in time I was told that, okay, there's been reports within Ireland that there's a water shortage. So people are advised to limit their usage of water. And in the family that I stayed with, the landlady basically said that she would give us a timetable.
But they don't pay for water here, so how
that's the thing, I wasn't aware of it. So the landlady basically told me that, okay, she's going to create a schedule, like the days whereby we can shower and days whereby we cannot shower because of this water shortage. Yes, because of this water shortage. So, and then, like, I asked locals about that. Oh, by the way, this is what's happening in my situation. Are you experiencing the same thing as well? And they basically said it's not true, because water in Ireland, you actually don't pay. You don't pay for water. That's fine. So it's important to be aware about such things. Questions. Yeah, to ask questions, and don't just take somebody's word for it.
Yeah, don't just take someone's word for it.
No, just don't. Don't do it at all.
Alright then. I really don't know how many people this is going to help out, but I believe that this video is important for me to create on my channel, since I talk about Ireland every now and again. I'm trying to not make this video too long, but we're almost getting into 20 minutes. So thank you so much, Beth, for coming on my channel today. Thank you so much for being on my vlog. Fingers crossed, like I said, I will actually edit that video and post it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button too. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Up until then, take care of yourselves. Slán!